Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Anybody else would like to share? Anybody else? Okay, let me see whose name I'm going to just call. Oh, yes. Who's that? Caroline? Are you able to share with us? Okay. Liz?
So that felt really, really good. So for me, I tend to start my workday late. So I was actually just coming out of work and then getting into this. And I think I do forget to breathe while I'm working because my work is very stressful. So it was very helpful. Yeah, just doing that exercise and also thinking about like your happy place, and it worked for me.
Yay, that makes me feel good. It's available to you anytime, especially, when you do have a lot of stress on top of what's going on right now. It's really, really important for us to remember that we have that gift called the breath, and taking deep inhalations and exhalations is important because what we do is that we end up increasing the oxygen in our bloodstream, which then actually triggers the good hormones in our bodies and causes us to even have better thoughts, you know, because sometimes we can just go down one rabbit hole after the next, especially in this trying time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
sweetheart. Let me see who else I can reach out to. Vivian, if I call your name just because you're hiding behind the camera, I can see you. I want to hear from you.
Hi. Hi, Kirigo. Can you hear me? Okay,
Yep,
you're on
I
mute.
hear you. I hear you.
Okay,
Thank you so
okay.
much. Let's hear
Yeah,
from
so I didn't do it fully because I had Peppa Pig competing with you because I was with my 2-year-old, but I managed to do the breathing exercises, so that helped. My happy space was Peppa Pig and home, and I thought about cooking actually. I think I smelled something good, so that's one of the things that I want to get back to cooking
good.
more often. Yeah.
Good, good. Cooking is great therapy, and I'm going to give you a tip. I've been cooking and calling some of my girlfriends who I haven't talked to in a long time, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
something about talking to them and that joy and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
meals
Yeah.
are even yummier and yummier. And also because I'm doing that, they're being inspired,
Mm-hmm.
which is really amazing. They're like, oh, thank you, Kirigo. I didn't even think I could make something like that. Or, they say, let me see what you're making or take a picture. So, because some people are home now and they don't have the help that they are used to. So they have to get creative in their kitchens. And it's a good time for us to be
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of our own DIYs,
Exactly.
Great to see
Yeah.
you. Great to
Good
see
to
you
see you too.
sharing. All right, ladies, as we move
Yes.
forward, Miriam, yes, somebody else wanted to share.
Just saying hi.
Hi, how are you?
And thank you.
Good, 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 good. Awesome. It's great to have this forum tonight. One
Yep.
second. I am, hold on, sorry. All right, ladies, just a few housekeeping notes. If you see down on the bottom of your screen, there is a chat box. So in case you wanted to share something as we're talking, type something out on the side, please, because sometimes when the forum is a huge one, we might not get everybody talking. And then the other thing I want to disclose is that we are actually recording our conversations, but it's only for Studio 28 purposes because there's some notes we may miss that someone shared with us that we just need to replay and collect, because right now information from studios clients is like gold. Anything that you guys can share with us in order for us to help you successfully support you, it is our priority, and we want to make sure that you know that at Studio our clients are our number one. We actually would not be there without you. So it is important that we are able to meet your needs even in this time of social distancing. And as we're preparing to open open our doors there. We wanted to have conversations with our clients because there are going to be a few changes, definitely. Outside, like some internal things that we're doing, we're actually going to be rebranding. So that maybe if you come back and things look a little bit different, colors have changed a little bit, you know, it's a high time. Actually, it's a great opportunity to take time, this time in downtime, to really be creative and implement great systems in place. That's one. Number two, we are all concerned about COVID-19, and we are educating ourselves and how to best handle it and make sure that our environment will be safe for the staff and for our clients. And we've been receiving great questions from clients, and we are jotting that down, finding answers. And if we don't have the answers, we're looking into the industry and we're looking at professionals, even having conversations with doctors and health practitioners on how we can move forward, that the environment is safe. So on that note, I'm going to welcome Kirigo to just talk briefly on some of the facts that we've been collecting. And Kirigo, if you could just take the table. And for everyone else, again, there is the chat box down there, so feel free to put in your questions. But if I ask everyone to mute your speaker so that we can all hear each other clearly without interruption. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you? It's really good to see you all and hear your voices in this time. And really, we're just, we've decided to keep ourselves informed because the situation is changing drastically. One of the questions we got last week was, yes, how will we know that if and when we open up, and we haven't decided when, that our clientele, you know, nobody's infected or at that time. And of course, there's no guarantee at this point. They say we're just, by the end of the month, we'll have seen maybe the peak of it. So one, we're waiting until the end of the month to make sure at least the season that they say will probably be really revealing in terms of the number of infections. We understand what it looks like in the country before we then put yourselves as our clients at risk, or our stylists as well. Point number one. Currently, there are about 455 people who were placed on quarantine, and that's basically because of flouting and these are mainly statistics for people who are not in Kenya because it's in the news. Just yesterday, because they're still out there after curfew of 7 p.m. and we have a curfew that basically really allows us to be out until 7 p.m. and practicing social distancing, practicing, you know, cleanliness and washing hands. Most people are trying, but there are others who maybe have not. I understand there are about thousands, about 7,000 already who have been put in quarantine at some point during the season. Unfortunately, there were 11 more cases confirmed today, which brings the total number in Kenya currently at 281. The places that are still showing cases are mainly, now we have Mombasa, the coast, bringing quite a number, and then we have a number from Nairobi. So the numbers are still going up, but we have good news that we have number of recoveries. People have actually recovered so far at 69. So our doctors and the health professionals, and we have a great number of clients who are also in the health space, are doing a great job, and we commend them and we take our hat off and we want to support them. So what are we going to do? One is keep ourselves informed, trying to get as much understanding as what we need to do. Two, we have put in place, you know, temperature gauges will be, your temperature would be taken, but there'll be even an interview before. Last week, Kirigo mentioned that before we start scheduling people or we announce, we'll start having virtual consultations, and I think she'll talk about those, where your hair will be, you know, where are you in terms of your growth, curl pattern, and then we start scheduling then. That will be after we know for sure, although we ourselves are on, let's prepare for when we're open, the situation itself will be determined by what is happening in the country. Secondly, one, interview to find out how you're doing. if and nobody really at this point has been traveling, but just basically having that conversation. Secondly, also we're doing the same with our team, our staff. Most of them have been self-isolating, have been indoors, so just keeping in touch with them and making sure that all is well. Secondly is the sanitation. There will be several wash stations for your hands. You will be required to wear a mask. We will be wearing masks, and also we're looking at protective clothing in terms of gowns and so on that we would wear, and of course also done for our clients during that period. Again, this is when we know green light, it's okay to do this. So we will basically be looking at those things, several workstations, and also doing the social distancing. So there will not be a number of clients coming in at the same time. So far, we will have the stations spread apart. So we will also stagger appointments and have minimum people coming in at the same time. The other thing to note as our clients, because of the situation, we really will be looking at probably single retites, solo retites. Again, I know this will take longer, so as we make your appointments, you will be reminded of that. But we guarantee you, even with your growth, we will be there to take care of it and make sure that it is fully taken care of, although you will definitely need to factor in the time. There'll be one stylist, one client. Washing will also be staggered. So you've heard Kirigo saying we're rebranding. We'll also be looking at the space to make sure the flow is effected in a safe manner. And we'll keep you updated until the time where we know now we're really fully opening our doors. So for now, I mean, I know this will also be, and Kirigo will talk about what you can do in between, how you can wash your hair, how you can get products. I think now in terms of products, we're organizing for you to be able to get products if you need it. And then also how you can use protective styles. So that's my update for today. I look forward to a better report, hopefully in the near future. But for now, I encourage you all to keep safe, social distance, and keep washing your hands.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Wariko, for that. I appreciate you sharing that and the details. And for those who are just joining us, who have just probably hopped on recently, thank you for coming on. We started off with a grounding exercise, and now we're just, you haven't missed much outside of the grounding exercise, and Wariko just shared about the current situation. We're looking at numbers in the country and then narrowing it down and how it's going to affect us as individually. So like Wariko covered, one of the things that we have been thinking, obviously now, because our main system has always been 2 people retightening 1 head, we're going to have to shift that. Our girls in the meantime are working on their speed and doing accurate, good job and speed, because we are making sure it's only one-on-one. We are planning on having protective, if you guys can turn off your mics, if anybody has your mic is still on, mute that please for me. Thank you. We have 3 different departments looking at studio at this time. One is about the sanitization. One is the client and stylist liaison and connection. And one is about how we're going to financially be able to recover or maintain prices and things like that. One of the things that we know for sure is that we recently just increased our retail, our products and so on. And unfortunately, the delivery has only increased that much further because it's more difficult to ship products, right? So that might be the only place where we're going to see changes, but we want to keep the service the same, because we actually understand that everyone coming in will be expected to pay even more than 5K because you've gone beyond the number of weeks that you've already had. Now, how we're thinking of moving forward is that we're strategizing. We're looking at the most critical cases, which are, let's say, the newbies, those who just recently got their Sisterlocks done and didn't even come in for the follow-up or anything like that. So those ones with very fragile situations are the ones who are going to be attended to initially. And then we're going to get into the retights. And once the retight numbers are coming down, then we could begin to bring in our installations that are still waiting to be done. So that's where we are. We're asking that everybody stays calm, please, at this time. We are willing to help you. Within a week's time, the staff is going to be able to speak to you, and we will have virtual services so that you could come in, we could look at the hair, and we could share tips on what you can do. As this continues with our communications with the clients on this type of a forum, I believe we have another one again next week. What we really need from you is like your questions, your concerns, please, because that's important to us as we're shifting, rebranding, and improving. We want to incorporate everything that is placed on our table. And like Wariko highlighted, one of the biggest questions is how are the clients assured that they're going to be safe? And our stylists have asked us the same thing. So in order for us to support both parties, one of the ideas that has recently come up is that we're going to have our staff work, the first group of staff, they're going to work 2 weeks, and then they're going to take a break, and then the next staff is going to come for the next 2 weeks. And this until we have testing kits for ourselves, but we have, we'll be doing temperature monitorization upon arrival. In fact, upon arrival, we're going to have a hand washing station outside before even approaching the building. And then upon arriving, there are going to be many steps. And, you know, please bear with us. Why we're having this forum is that everybody can open themselves up to newness and comply so that we are all safe. And these are the measures that we have to put in place so that we assure that we are all safe. That's a priority for all of us. So workstation outside, you come in, hand sanitize, and then to your station, which the station should already be sanitized a few minutes before your arrival. Although everything will be sanitized the night before, like we always do, we're going to do additional sanitization. It's going to be just before you sit and right after you're done. We've always done after you're done, but we haven't always done before you sit, because this is just like increasing reassurance. Our staff is going to be wearing protective gear. We're looking to see in terms of gloves, but initially when washing hair, everyone is going to be wearing gloves, at least to start off at the station. And then when they go wash your hair at the sink, they can always remove the gloves to complete the washing. When our clients come in, as soon as you get your hand sanitizer and you sit at the station, you're going to be draped. Unless you need to go to the bathroom right away, the first thing is to be draped, and you're going to have your cape on the entire time you're at the service, when you're having your service. You may be asked several times to sanitize, depending on, if you go to the bathroom, or if you're coughing and so on. Obviously, we're going to have reason to have questions, but at the same time, we understand that not every cough is a cough by coronavirus. It is also, people have allergies, things like that. So it's important before you come in that we have that conversation. We, as clients, when you call the day before, you're going to be asked a series of questions. Have you had a cough? Have you had fever? And so also upon arrival, your temperature is also going to be taken. So because that has been the biggest question that we've been asked, these are the systems that we have put in place. They may seem drastic for, compared to the services that we used to render before, but understand we are taking every measure to make sure that everybody's protected as we move forward and conduct our business. Then there's another thing. Before even coming in, as we begin our scheduling, what we need is to do the virtual consultation for 15 minutes will be strictly the one to set your appointment. What is going to be happening? Admin is going to be looking at your hair, asking you to probably bend forward, part it on the side. Let's see the back. Understand this is not to insult you or anything. It is how we're putting up our standards to make sure that you're safe. And this way, even in preparation for you and who's going to do your service, depending on your length, how much work needs to be done in your hair, we're trying to match you with the right stylist so that you will get the service that you need. Again, every appointment that we're going to have coming from quarantine is going to take maybe twice the time that you're used to being there. One, because it's going to be only one person working on a head, and then two, because of your new growth and the other past appointments that you've skipped. So I'm hoping that that makes sense. But in between time, we are offering consultations. The stylists are available to have a consultation to tell you what you could best do in this time, in this moment. Protective styling, making sure that you're separating your Sisterlocks in this time. If you've gone beyond 8 weeks, we ask that you separate your hair every week. You know, please continue to wash your hair. It's very important that we keep our hair washed in this time, because as we hear, the virus can stick to our hair and we can contaminate our beds and clothing and et cetera, et cetera. It might be even a good idea to cover your hair when you're outside, you know. We have lots of kangas and beautiful African prints. You can adorn yourself during this time. And it's actually the quarantine look, the latest fad or the trend right now is head covering, a hat. One, because you're trying to hide, you know, whatever's going on. Most people are trying to hide quarantine hair. And then two, it's because you're protecting your hair as you're outside. You know, and we know that hair collects dust and so on, but it is a time that you may want to also be increasing the amounts of time you wash your hair, maybe weekly. And if you've been doing it weekly and you're busy outside, exposed in the outdoors, you might want to do it twice. We recommend that you continue working out, please, you know, because it's important to keep that immune system strong, to keep the respiration system and our lungs clear and strong. So working out and making sure you're eating highly alkaline foods like avocados and tangerines and celery. And, you know, these days you can Google that information, you know, make sure you're eating good foods. I encourage you to even cook, because you really know what you're doing. You know, eat as much raw food as you can, especially the greens, because all of those have antioxidants that are great to boost the immune system during this time. And another thing, ladies, because I know we're such multitaskers and busy running like the road runner. It is time to nap. Take a nap. Okay, please. I urge you, if your baby naps, take a nap with your baby. Okay, so I welcome you to get some rest, you know, and not feel guilty as women, because we carry so much. We tend to feel guilty if we take a nap in the middle of the day. Shut the door and take a 15-minute nap, 20 minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. I think for me, this opportunity allows us to really examine the way we've been living. Personally, for me, I've been on a very fast life. In one place, racing to the airport, hopping on the plane to another location, you know, working there, up again to another location. It's been hectic. My life has been so hectic in the last 3 years, and I actually did not realize it. You know, I'm high energy myself, so I didn't realize it. But now looking back, I kind of don't want to do that anymore. You know, now that I know that that's not necessarily the only way of doing things, I'm rethinking, and I'm hoping that we are all taking time to see where we can tweak and improve our lives, even if it means just sitting doing nothing for an hour in the house. You know, if it means taking a nap, what are you going to do differently this time, and how are you going to shine? You know, outside of all the makeup, and my eyebrows are not even cute, my nails haven't been done since I left Kenya, and I've been collecting photos, quarantine nails. So if you guys have very interesting quarantine nails, I'm collecting photos to do a camouflage, to do a what is this called, when you just put a whole bunch of pictures on one spot. I just kind of, you know, because it's almost getting caught with your pants down kind of thing. And what do, you know? But I think it also allows us to, you know, to be available, to adjust to the new conditions of which we did not choose. You know, we didn't have choice in. There's a question here. Hi, this is Angeline. Are crochets available? Are you saying crochets over your Sisterlocks or your loose natural hair? So I want to answer a question and say, yes, Vero is able to do that, but it also depends on the condition of your hair. So you might be a perfect candidate for a consultation, a virtual consultation. That one, you're just going to go ahead and set on the studio phone, whether you call it or you send a text, and then they would set an appointment and send you a link to Zoom, and then you would, that time that you arrange the link, you click on that link like you did today, and then you're in a forum where you're going to be able to get support and help. But your questions are important to us clients. So whatever that we probably have not addressed or we have not brought up, same thing as well, even in the kitchen, because we do have, we do sell chips and sausages and things like that. Even in the kitchen, the measures are going to be increased. So like the Jackie, the one who usually does all the chips, even while she's running an operation in the kitchen, gloves have to be on the entire time. And she's also going to have protective clothes, and her hair is going to be tied. So, so as we're moving forward, we actually, Studio 28 is going to be an actual like hair doctors for real, with an appointment and a lot of protection going on. But prior to that, we're going to walk you through everything. And as we're moving forward and even into next week, we want to hear from you so that we're able to answer a lot of questions. We have about 15 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions at this time, this is the current update. We will keep it ongoing as it comes up. But those were because last time we were asked, how do we guarantee your protection? And these are the measures that we are now considering and still talking to professionals and advisors as we examine what the possibilities are. And in the meantime, our staff is being trained virtually so that they are ready.
Here you go. There's a question from Liz. Thank you for that. In terms of whether the sanitation will start from the gate.
Absolutely.
Those measures are already in place. The guards have been trained. They have sanitizer. Anybody going in and out of the property will have to sanitize from there. The pen, they're wearing gloves, and the writing in the book is now you basically, he will take down the details. There's no exchanging of pens for you to write and so on. They're doing the self. So that's already been in play since just before we closed, and that will only step it up as we step up everything else.
Exactly. And the guards too will also be wearing masks. Any other questions, ladies? Because we have about 10 more minutes. Okay, there were some other questions that were asked last week that we had not addressed. One of the questions was, one of the clients wanted to know whether the stylists were earning any money during this time. Actually, they have not been earning any money. We've had gracious clients who have sent to some of their stylists and so on, but that hasn't covered everyone. However, as we move forward, these Zoom meetings this is why the girls are being trained, is that they can conduct them in a way of earning income. Because obviously, as you know, we are in Kenya, it's, a government that doesn't have a plan B to protect its people. And that way it's, each person for their own. We're definitely considering that. My mom had, for some of the staff that's on the ground, my mom had gone out and, just her kind heart, she went out and got rice and potatoes and things like that to give to the workers who are actually not working right now. And because we are hearing their concerns, and these are some of the things that we're also putting in place so it meets your needs, their needs, and just sort of trying to bridge for everyone during this time and support one another, be supportive to one another. We have also talked to our staff in terms of how to budget at this time, to really pay close attention to what the necessary expenses are, talking to landlords if they need to, even what kind of language to talk to your landlord in, so our staff has been getting the support that they need during this time in the best way that we can. And however, it requires all of us collectively. When you guys sign up for the virtual consultations, this will be a way for them to be able to earn a little something to keep themselves going until our doors open up. Okay, how we are ensuring offering services to clients. Okay. Okay. The other question was, how do we know how do we ensure that we're not offering services to clients who have the virus? Great question. Well, the thing is, unfortunately, we can't tell. But the things, again, that we're putting in measure is you're going to sanitize upon arrival. There's going to be a hand washing station with soap outside the salon, and you're going to stop there as well. And then upon arriving in the salon is another hand sanitization. So, and throughout the service. So if you go to the bathroom and you come back out to the chair, you need to sanitize your hands again. During the service, we ask all clients to keep their masks on, and we want to provide the masks. Like, we know that people are going to come, I'm going to say they have theirs, but while you're in studio, we're going to give you one that you're going to wear in studio and discard it after you leave, or you could leave with it. Otherwise, so all of that is going to be encompassed, like as we think about, even in the pricing, it's going to have to include the mask just for everybody's protection. The other thing too is that we have Martha is going to be outside taking everybody's temperature. We ask that we all comply, because this is not to insult anyone whatsoever. It is because we need to take the measures to make sure you're protected, we're protected, and that's the best. And then, of course, the day before, you're going to be called by a staff member, by admin, to confirm, and you're going to be asked maybe a series of 5 questions where it concerns your health. Of course, we're always going to start with, how are you doing? And then we're going to ask you some questions that we have received from the health practitioners that we can ask that would probably help us identify, or even help you identify how you're feeling. Some things are like, can you hold your breath for 10 seconds over the phone right now? This is when we are going to need to do like the Zoom, so that we can't tell that you're really holding your breath. But even when you arrive, you might be asked to hold your breath. Again, hold your breath for 10 seconds. And if you don't cough in those 10 seconds, then we can assume that perhaps you don't have it. There's no other way of telling until we get some kits. But those are not available to us, and only large organizations are having access to them first. But those are the ways that we're going to do that. Also, the masks that you wear, they're going to be we're going to make sure they're tested ahead of time. So basically, the type of mask that you wear that is safe, we know that you should not be able to blow into your mask and put out a candle or a lighter. So those are the kind of masks that are going to be there, which means that you're going to have like enough protection. So even if you speak, or if someone is speaking to you, there's nothing that's going to go through the mask for protection. So there's going to be a few things. Like I said, Studio 28 is actually going to have doctors and nurses before we know it. So as we go through these things, it's just measures to make sure you're healthy, we're healthy. And the same thing you're going to go through, believe me, staff is going to go through that as well. So that's what's going on. Oh, and by the way, product purchases or a request, you can begin now to place your orders. We are looking for someone who is carrying safety measures to do delivery instead of having people coming to the salon. We'll deliver to your home. Delivery is not included in the price, but we are willing to do that. And starting maybe from a week now, you can even begin now to start setting your virtual consultations so that we could begin to move forward. And as your appointment is done, that will come with a 15-minute virtual consultation to see where you are, so we can estimate how much time. And of course, that's when you're also going to be asked questions about your health, and again, upon arrival. So that's what we're doing in place to ensure that you're well. And that's the information we have at this point. But we are still talking to experts, and whatever they suggest, then the upcoming, we have another 2-3 weeks to go. Things may even change from now on, but this is where we are up until this point. And we just want to make sure that we manage expectation. Okay, 5 minutes left. Any more? The measures will include security guard. Yes, absolutely. And anybody who wanted those crochets, please feel free to call the salon. There's someone who can answer that question for you. So if we have no more questions, ladies, I just want to quickly, Anne, are you there? Get our admin, Anne. She wanted to close us out in a short prayer.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I can't put the lights on, so we don't have lights right now, so I'm in the dark.
That's okay. It's perfect
Yes,
for the prayers.
okay, so let's go into the prayer now. Mighty and everlasting Father, we come before you this evening. We praise and we glorify your name. Thank you for the grace, thank you for the love, and thank you for the protection. We pray that you continue protecting and guiding us in every way, protect our family. As we get back to business, may you be with us, bless each and every soul here, and give us all a good night's rest. I pray this trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So ladies, even though this conversation is over, we have another gathering next week. That grounding exercise I opened up with, please feel free to use that as a home care tool. Okay. Those of us who are inspired to cook, please, we have Natural Hair Journey. Send us photos of your food. Let's see what everybody's doing during quarantine, even your do's, your nails, everything. Let's talk about it and support one another. And actually, even in this time, let's actually allow ourselves to see our true inner beauty instead of all the stuff that we put on the outside. Let's tap into our personal inner beauty and share that with everyone. Oh, June, thanks for coming on. Good to see you. You're welcome, honey. Thank you, ladies, for everybody who took time. We love you. We appreciate you. And know that we are doing our best to be here for you and give you the best service possible. And it would not be possible without you. So feed us all your information. We love you big time. Wakanda forever. This is my new thing. Wakanda forever, because I can't hug anybody and I'm such a hugger. So I got to do this to stop myself from hugging others. But Wakanda forever. Until next time, everybody. Mwah. Feel free to reach us at the studio phone. Take care. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.